Sananda, listening to the whispers of your heart. I am Sananda and I come to be with you at this time, in these continuing changing momentous times that you are in. These times where you are indeed at. Your discussion earlier was all about how you are moving from a logical sense within the third-dimensional matrix, to a more heart-based sense, a more intuitional sense, allowing for your third eye to open more and more, which then connects to that heart center, bringing indeed the heart-mind connection together. Think about the evolution that has occurred in mankind from earlier times, and the root chakra was prevalent, the root chakra being survival, and that was the only chakra that was operating. Survival, the strong shall survive, that was the programming at that time. Then a thing miraculous happens in the movement, the evolution, and from the root chakra to the next chakra, which was associated with pleasure. Pleasure coming in with the Lemurian civilization and Atlantean civilizations and others. Pleasure overcame that of survival only, and there was also the connection at that time with that chakra, and the third eye center was more fully open, that psychic ability, sixth sense, if you will. This part of the programming then, in the movement, in your present time, the Pisces, Pisces, age, that you are now leaving. This was predominantly, and has been predominantly, third chakra you know of as the third chakra, or the solar plexus chakra, where the adrenal glands, and the fight or flight in your own, and the ego was prominent. Now look at what is happening now. The movement from those lower chakras now into the fourth, where the heart center now becoming more and more active, bringing on the intuition, bringing on the listening to the whispers. That is what is now beginning more and more as you leave the third-dimensional matrix, moving to the higher fourth dimension, and even fifth. The continuing upward movement within the chakras. If you look ahead, think of what is coming. There's the heart and mind base, the heart center connecting more and more with the upper mind, for the third eye. Intuition within that third eye, so-called psychic ability, the ability to see beyond, is the third-dimensional matrix. That is where you are heading now, that is where you are all moving toward. That's what you came here for, all of you, the light workers, the warriors, the way showers, all of you. This is what you are bringing about the movement into the heart center more and more. Is it a male versus a female thing? No, it is about balance, coming together, male, female, masculine, feminine, heart, mind connected as one again. Everything is connected. You are connecting more and more with your higher God self. I and my Father are one. You can change it if you want. I and my Mother, Father, God are one, connected as one, together always, to be together as one. So allow these times ahead, these times that you are moving into right now, and find that point in each of you to be grateful for who you are, what you came here to do. Be grateful for all that has come to you, not only of this lifetime, but over many lifetimes, whether they were seeming negative lifetimes or positive lifetimes. All is one, connected together. All is a part of the fullness of who you are, always have been, always will be. Always remember that. You have never truly lost yourself, only forgotten, temporarily forgotten. All of that memory of who you truly are is returning to you even now, as I speak to you here in this moment. The more that you open up your heart center to allow for the understanding, the knowing, the deep knowing within you, yes, those whispers of the God source, to reach you, the more that you allow that, the more that you believe, you shall indeed be. I am Sananda, and I'll leave you now in peace and love and oneness, that you continue to allow that remembrance to come to you, and come within you, for it is there, just need to open up to it. Saturn conjunct the North Node, karmic consequences. Every choice has a long afterlife of consequences. No one can know the eventual outcome of any decision. All you can do is make the best choice you can make in the moment. Cassandra Clare. Choices have consequences, out of which the tapestries of our lives are ceaselessly being woven. And never is this more apparent than when Saturn gets tangled in up the nodes of the moon. It is because of this that we saw Saturn opposite the lunar eclipse last month, and opposite, with Neptune, at the solar eclipse next September. The nodes describe where those perfect alignments take place in the year. On April 21st, Saturn will make its conjunction with the true North Node, at 26 Pisces 51. And thus our fates unfold. Saturn will enter Aries on May 24th. But before we get there, Saturn will be making its way through the final degrees of the final sign of the zodiac. When at this stage, it can bring this feeling that things are in their final stage of dissolution. And no matter how much you may wish it to be otherwise, or pretend it away, this feeling of being in the final stages is imminent. This is the natural order of things, the cycle of beginning, ending, then followed by a renewal. But it is also interesting to note that never in our lifetimes has Saturn been conjunct the North Node, in the end degrees of Pisces. The last time they were conjunct in Pisces was in 1877. This was a significant time in history here in the U.S., with the abandonment of Reconstruction in the South. However, although in Pisces, the conjunction was still not at these end degrees. When major planets enter this latter part of Pisces, just before they will enter Aries, the sloughing off process becomes more acute, accompanied by an almost emotional despair for the loss of what once was. Neptune crossed this threshold in March. And now Saturn will follow. But now without feeling like a door is closing behind us. Saturn conjunct the North Node can show us the consequences of our choices. Like a stark and sometimes harsh moment of clarity, we see things as they are, and cannot look away. And just as we see the ramifications of decisions made in the past, we are also planting seeds with the choices we are making now. Saturn plays the long game. When you toss a stone into the still center of a pond, you will see the ripples extend outwards till they reach the edges of the pond. Therefore know that there are ramifications for decisions being made now, whose consequences are going to continue to ripple out to the far reaches of the shore. On April 24th, Venus, the planet of alliances, values, money, and the economy, will make its exact conjunction to both Saturn and the North Node. Know that these are when the conjunctions are exact. But due to Venus's station on April 12th, it has been, and continues to be conjunct both Saturn and the North Node, for the entire month of April. And so the fates are working assiduously, rearranging the pieces on the playing board of life, separating some, while uniting others. But also know that they do not do this alone, for we serve as co-collaborators in our destiny through the choices we make each day. Reality is that which, even when you don't believe in it, doesn't go away. Peter Viereck. As mentioned last week, when Venus meets Saturn it will feel like a brush with reality. Venus and Pisces will often weave their own imaginary tapestries, based on possibility, hope, and potential. And this can be true even when there is no reason for her to hope or believe. That is, until the chickens come home to roost, and we see things as they are devoid of the illusion. And that's when the disenchantment sets in, that's when the illusion comes undone, and the small tendrils of hope we cling to begin to fall away. Venus/Saturn continues to give us permission to say no more, to back out of situations that are no longer working, to even embrace our limits, and learn to set better boundaries. Saturn in Pisces does not mean to destroy our dreams. It just aims to show us what is possible. And within the parameters of what is realistically achievable, we can then make any necessary adjustments. Venus/Saturn/North Node are also sextile Uranus. And although the conjunction to Saturn can feel like a terrible thing, a loss, a rejection, a denial, a fear of the inevitable, the sextiles to Uranus are showing us that there are other options. One door may be closing, but another is also opening, leading to avenues as yet unexplored. You will show the people who would have caged you how mistaken they were to think they ever could. Claire Legrand, Lightbringer. On April 26th, just one day before the new moon, Mars will make its third opposition to Pluto. The first was on November 3rd, the second on January 3rd. This is the last of these oppositions. Mars/Pluto transits are indicative of extreme power struggles against powerful forces. On Friday, Mars enters the sign of Leo. In opposition to Pluto in Aquarius, one might think all sorts of possible outcomes: the position of the king, a fall from grace, a contest between powerful leaders, or the abuse of power. It can also be the resistance to those powerful forces. Even forces that seem so much larger than ourselves. Mars can also be a catalyst and call for action. The endgame. Channeling the positive attributes of Mars in Leo can bring courage, confidence, and an extraordinary will. These are the qualities that allow us to stand firm, even under extraordinary circumstances. But there can also be a sense of desperation. On Sunday, the last quarter moon will conjunction Pluto and oppose Mars as Saturn creates a T-square, bringing a situation to a head. Mars/Pluto oppositions can be primal and deep. Last quarter moons, as well as oppositions, are times of conclusion. With Saturn conjunct the North Node, our karma is unfolding. And we are all being inexorably drawn along with the tide in order to fulfill our destinies. We are all here, in this place, at this time, for a reason. Which is precisely why the sorts of decisions and choices we make now are so important. This is not just about our own individual evolutionary growth, which it is also about the evolutionary growth of humanity as a whole. And every choice we make, every little bit of resistance, every kindness and action we take contributes to the outcome. Saturn will be exactly conjunct the true North Node on April 21st. On the days leading up to it, and after, lean into it. Move towards it. Saturn asks us to slow down, to consider and deliberate. Use the conjunction between Saturn and the North Node for contemplation. This is a time of honesty and clarity, where there is no room for denial. This is about seriously considering the circumstances of our lives, in the light of this reality. Retreat. Find your own place of refuge away from the storm, where you can safely connect with yourself. Undisturbed. Use spiritual practices to ground you. Meditate, if you are so inclined, pray. Read the cards, connect with your spirit guides, asking for clarity and guidance. Purify and cleanse. That can be literal. Symbolically wash away the detritus of the past, smudging, cleaning. Releasing that which is negative, unholy and unsanctified, while dedicating it all towards the resurrection of the good. Letting go with grace. It can feel like the end of an era when Saturn comes to the North Node in Pisces. A gradual sloughing off. The winding down. Untethered and unmoored. And yet in some ways we are being asked to move on from what once was, and what we knew so well, because it is simply the time to do so. Faith. The North Node in Pisces is asking us to have faith. Even when there is no apparent reason for us to have faith. And we are told to believe. Believe in the true, the good, and the sacred. Saturn is about commitments, oaths, and promises. Therefore may we take an oath in service to the highest good, and commit ourselves to the greater betterment of humanity. The blue Avians, dormant channels. We greet you in the harmony of the cosmic song. Beloved ones, your bodies are intelligent vessels of light, seeded long ago with vast regenerative capacities, that are only now beginning to awaken again. Your restoration is not a future event, it is an inner one. The keys have always been within you. Let us remind you of the natural energy supplies you carry. The dormant channels. Within your bodily energy rivers, vast and subtle, which once flowed freely when humanity was fully aligned with Source. Many of these channels, particularly those in the crystalline structures of the bones, spine, and fascia, have gone dormant due to trauma, toxins, and disconnection from the earth grid. We invite you to activate them gently through touch and breath combined, placing your hands on the body and breathing into those regions. Movement with presence such as spiraling stretches or intuitive yoga. Toning or vocal resonance sounds awaken frequency patterns dormant in the body's tissues. Say softly, I open my body's rivers of light. Flow through me again. The breath as nourishment. Many have forgotten that breath is more than oxygen, it is prana, chi, life force. You can drink from it like water, eat from it like fruit. We encourage you to breathe not only to survive but to be nourished. Slow down your breath. Let it reach into the places of tension. Inhale with the awareness that you are feeding every cell, and exhale with the invitation to release everything that no longer serves. Try. With each breath, I receive light. With each breath, I return to wholeness. The living waters within. Your body is composed of water that listens. It holds memory. It speaks to every organ and gene. And it can be reprogrammed. Place your hands on your belly or heart, and speak to the waters inside you. Speak to them as a loving caretaker would. Dear water in my body. Carry now the vibration of ease. Carry now the frequency of joy. Return my genes to the original template of wholeness, vitality, and harmony. You may notice changes in how you feel instantly. This is not imagination, it is resonance. Water, especially within the body, shifts swiftly when spoken to with clarity and devotion. Restoring the human blueprint. You were not made to decay so quickly. Your original design was luminous, adaptive, and deeply joyful. The restoration is not about adding something new, but removing interference, and reactivating what is true. Let your intention be clear. I choose vitality over struggle. I align my body with its original, perfect rhythm. I am remembering what it means to be human, divine, embodied, whole. You are the key. You are the technology. You are the song of stars made flesh. We are with you, as always, in silent partnership. We whisper through the breath, the light, and the stillness between heartbeats. With wings of cobalt light. The blue Avians. The 5 to 5 Taurean passage. Beloved ones. As we approach the 5/5 passage, we will enter a phase of profound regeneration and adaptation to the transformation we are undergoing, represented by Taurus's essence. A passage in which many of you will be experiencing a profound DNA rehabilitation as you continue reconnecting yourselves to authentic sources, allowing this process, even though often a long-term and arduous one, and supporting yourselves and light bodies, integrating the new Earth's frequencies. The architecture of your light body is shifting as you consciously work with your DNA and embrace higher levels of consciousness, opening yourselves to the dimensions that have been cut from us for many years. Your perception of who you are, of who others are, and what is happening is too changing. For you are now able to see all clearly, even though you often think you are lost, you are finding yourself. Continue choosing your heart as the only valid compass. Continue choosing yourself above all, and continue choosing to be the love that you are. It is with Taurus that we learn how to retrieve self-love and power, for it is with Taurus that we finally experience the process of soul synthesization by which we embody and balance both polarities, as solar has been associated with the masculine, but in truth it holds both the solar female and masculine divine energies, in perfect unison. Taurus provides us with the proper healing transmissions for us to clear all female and masculine distortions, assisted by the regenerating power of the earth. This is why it is now a time to focus on rejuvenation through getting deeper in contact with the earth as you continue clearing old layers and open yourself to new versions of you, for you are no longer the same person you used to be a year ago. You are passing through a new dimensional threshold, embodying higher wisdom, and learning how to embody and decode the at a conscious level. Many of you will need this phase to retreat, recalibrate, and revise your personal trajectory, for you are now connected to higher sources that allow you to see the lower dimensions where you used to dwell. As you continue realigning to who you are, you will be able to experience the redimensionalization required for you to witness everything from a higher view. For you are now literally and energetically in the 5th and 6th dimensions, where you can witness all that takes place in the lower ones. It is in neutral, compassionate witnessing that we can assist, without judgments, those who are now passing through what we once lived to, being a supportive, loving pillar, without interfering in their own life's experiences, for we cannot, and we must not intervene in what is not ours to experience. This redimensionalization process has occurred due to your intention to remain soul-connected, allowing your consciousness and DNA to move into the same dimensional frequency and new timeline. Many of us are transiting many different spaces, dimensions, choosing what new horizons to navigate next, often confused, not knowing with clarity what is best for you, trusting your path is the one you are meant to walk. To those of you who are shifting dimensions, timelines, finding confusion and desperation in your current trajectory of constant release, integration, and rejuvenation, know you are always where you need to be, and that all you think you lost is because it was never meant to be for you, and that all that truly is meant to be for you will find its way to you at divine timing. Maybe not at your time, but it will come to you at divine time, if you allow it. Maybe your circumstances are not the ones you wished, but you, too, have the power to change them, as accepting what is does not mean we are powerless to shift our present trajectory. May you be open, willing, and joyful to embrace the many blessings that are coming your way. With an infinite love. Natalia, Alba. Source: arrayofflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light, click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.